Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Since the birth of Tata Motors passenger car business unit, almost every one of the most significant unveilings and launches of the company have taken place in the National Capital Region. We are delighted to be with you here today with the launch of the Tata Safari Storme. And to engage with you have come Mr. Carl Slim, Managing Director of Tata Motors, Mr. Ranjit Yadav, President of the Passenger Car Business Unit, Dr. Tim Levitan, President and Head of the company's R&D establishment, and Mr. Neeraj Garg, Vice President Commercial of the Passenger Car Business Unit. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Tata Motors.
India's leading automobile company is surging ahead with innovative solutions for today and tomorrow. Tata Motors, inspired by people. Jamsetji Nisirwanji Tata founded the Tata Group in 1868. He committed us to improving the quality of life of the communities it serves. Carrying the legacy forward in 1945, J.R.D. Tata founded Tata Motors. He changed transportation in India forever. Tata Motors, the trust of everyone, everywhere. A committed workforce with over 51,000 people of 16 nationalities are guided by the vision. Best in the manner in which we operate, best in the products we deliver, and best in our value system and ethics. In India, Tata Motors is the largest automobile company. The market leader in commercial vehicles and among the top 3 in passenger vehicles. It is the world's 4th largest truck manufacturer and the world's 3rd largest bus manufacturer. A $27 billion Fortune 500 company. Tata Motors operations are spread worldwide with 14 plants in Asia, Africa, and Europe.
उसके लिए बहुत बड़ा तालियां बजाएं। मी रणजित जाधव टाटा मोटर्समध्ये 17 वर्षापासून काम करतो. सध्या मी आर्यामध्ये काम करतो. काम करत असताना मी पूर्णपणे क्वालिटीमध्ये सुरक्षित आणि पूर्णपणे इफिशियन्सीनेच काम करतो.
In India, Tata Motors has a powerful presence that cuts across the length and breadth of the country with manufacturing centers in every corner. Manufacturing bases of Tata Motors are at Jamshedpur, Pune, Lucknow, Pantnagar, Sanam and Dharwad.
मैं मिनी सामा गुजार, मुझे गर्व है कि मैं इस कंपनी का एक हिस्सा हूँ।
Here, when Jaguar stops purring and starts to growl.
Internationally, Tata Motors itself is present in the United Kingdom, South Korea, Thailand, Spain and South Africa.
We build an excellent 98 cars today, and there are strict guidelines that we have to adhere to. Including health and safety and the quality.
The Tata Motors Group includes Jaguar Land Rover, the business comprising the two iconic British brands. Tata Daewoo commercial vehicles in South Korea. Tata Motors, Thailand. Tata Hispano in Spain. And Tata Motors South Africa continue to spread their influence. Tata Motors is focused on environment-friendly technologies in alternate fuels. It has pioneered in hybrid and electric vehicles.
The Tata electric cars offer zero emissions, which are highly effective in this sort of urban use, where daily mileages are low, but there's a lot of stop-start traffic.
A dynamic global R&D team spread across India, the United Kingdom, Spain and South Korea translates consumer needs into creative engineering.
Design is today at the heart of product creation at Tata Motors. Nothing exemplifies this better than Pixel. It's a simple, beautiful product which people can relate to and opens up new markets for us as a company.
This state-of-the-art virtual reality centre is world leading, the number one in the world in the automotive industry. From a manufacturing point of view, we can do layout for plants, we can bring part of our manufacturing facility into the virtual world and look what the car would feel like as it goes down the track.
Tata Motors is dedicated to quality and safety. All vehicles go through stringent testing to assure consumers of reliability, durability, performance and safety for the ordinary and extraordinary needs. It is Tata Motors' commitment to return to society what it has earned from it. Through initiatives in health and family welfare, education, and employability. Today, products of the Tata Motors Group are sold in over 160 countries in every continent. From 75-ton haulers to 600 kg micro trucks. From the world's gold standard in SUVs to the world's most affordable car. From luxury coaches to four-seater passenger carriers. Tata Motors is inspired by people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. Slim to address us.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to the launch of Safari Storme. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the whole Tata Motors team, many of them who are here with me today, but of course many of them who've had a big part to play in bringing the Storme to the market for today. I want to talk about really welcoming some new faces that you'll see today. You're going to see 4 new faces, I think. I'm the first one that you'll see, although I do look out into the audience and see many familiar faces from just a few months ago when I was in India for my first stint. But also today you'll get to see face number 2, which is Ranjit Yadav, who has just taken over as head of the passenger car business. Also you'll see a 3rd new face, which is Niraj Garg, who has taken over the commercial operations for our passenger car business. And then 4thly, and probably the most interesting new face you're going to see today, is the one of the Safari Storme. So I hope you'll enjoy interacting with those 4 new faces today. I just want to talk a little bit about some of the first things that I look at for Tata Motors, and I really call it harnessing our capability. And if I think look at the capability that we have as a company, it really is second to none. If you think about our engineering and design capabilities, we have 4 engineering design centres that we rely upon to bring great products like the Safari Storme. We have one, of course, in India, we have one in Korea, we have one in the UK, and we also have one in Italy. So we're able to bring a whole international and domestic engineering and design flavour to the vehicles that we bring to the market. After engineering and design, we get into manufacturing. And domestically, you saw internationally, we actually have 14 plants. But domestically, we have 6 plants spread across the country to be able to bring our products to the market at the right time, the right cost, and also the right quality. With 25,000 people engaged in that manufacturing capability. And then finally, the customer doesn't get to see any of those. The customer really gets to look at us from our dealerships. And that is another exceedingly good strength that we've got in our company. By the end of this financial year, we'll have 1,200 sales points, and we'll have over 1,000 service points. That's adding around about 200 additional of each of those points during this financial year, which just shows you the continual growth that we're seeing. But that really makes sure that with 1,200 points, we can really ensure the customer has an easy way into our passenger car business from Tata Motors, and also with 1,000 service points, they can ensure that they're given the very best service from us as a company in their ownership cycle. So I think from an infrastructure capability, it's there, and it really is about us harnessing that capability as we go forward. And then on the second point of harnessing capability is our portfolio, and really that's why we're here today, of course. But just in the last few days, I've had the opportunity to be driving a Nano, the incredible Nano at one end of the spectrum, and then at the other end of the spectrum, a 12-axle, 50-ton truck that we use in both defence and the commercial market. So we certainly have that wider portfolio, bigger than anybody else that you can imagine globally, never mind in this country, and we're able to take on the expertise of those variety of products and variety of development areas, whether it be from Jaguar Land Rover, whether it be from our Tata Motors, whether it be from our CV business, to be able to bring that and ensure that we're delivering the best products. In the short term, of course, what drives the business in India is festival season and new products. We're not in charge of when the festival season is, but that's just upon us. So as we enter that season, we're then able to match that with new products as well. Just the other week, we were able to bring the EV2 and focus on the safety aspects that that car brings to you and your family when you get into the new EV2. Just yesterday, we were able to bring the Manza Club Class and really talk to people about the air of luxury that now we've packaged in that complete vehicle and ownership experience with Club Class. And then today, we take you to a completely different area in the market, and we're going to bring you the all-new Safari Storme, which you must drive, as well as enjoy admiring it when it comes on stage, you must also take the opportunity to drive, because you will admire it even more whichever seat you get to choose. So that's on the short term. I can tell you and commit to you in the long term that new products, upgrades of our existing products that have still got DNA to match what the Indian consumers are looking for will continue to be there, and you'll continue to get exciting new products and services from us in Tata Motors as we go forward. So once again, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today, and let's get on with looking at the new Safari Storm. Thank you.
Mr. Slip, thank you. I'm now requesting Mr. Ranjit Yadav to come and speak on the Tata Safari Storm. Mr. Yadav, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Tata Motors created history in 1998 with the launch of the Tata Safari, the first SUV designed, manufactured and implemented in India. In its 13 years of legacy, the Safari has taken on an iconic status and is much loved by people. In fact, it became the epitome of finding your own road or driving down your own road. To give you a little bit of a sense of what the Safari did for you, or did for all of us, I'd like to show you a short AV. Introduced the concept of off-roading to the Indian auto enthusiast, and in this process became one of the most iconic brands of its time. The Safari was ranked number 1 in 2003 in the SUV MUV category. It has won 5 JD Power Appeals Awards consecutively for its design and looks, and over its period of existence has won many, many awards. In fact, the Safari has become an epitome of freedom. The concept of freedom for the people, a way of breaking out from the routine, the mundane, the ordinary. People who'd like to break out from that and achieve freedom with their Safari. To give you an essence of that feeling, I'd like to play another piece of communication which still strikes a chord with all of us. Play the AV, please.
I always wanted to quit on Monday morning.
I always wanted to swim with the whales. Swim with the whales.
We always wanted to take a one-year trip around the world.
It's now time for us to take the Safari to the next level. While we keep it rooted very strongly in its legacy of finding your own road, taking you to freedom, to build on it, we build in the true SUV capability of off-roading. We've kept all this DNA, its heritage, its strength, yet we have now taken it to the next level in terms of experience, capability and modernity. What has gone into making of the new Safari Storm? I'd like to share with you a little bit of an essence around that.
line of India's first indigenous SUV, the Tata Safari Storme has a legacy of more than 1 decade, and this car is the next step in its evolution.
The DNA of the Tata Safari Storme is one of a real SUV. Much thinking has gone into its design and dimensions, and how that affects every aspect of the car. Guided by an uncompromising vision, the car was designed to be tough and dependable on any terrain. A true off-roader.
Designing the Safari Storme was an amazing and enlightening experience. We learned so much, and we put so much more intelligence and technology into this car than we could ever imagine.
The refined beast, the Tata Safari Storme, is certainly the car that we've dreamt up, so that it becomes the car you dream of.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us present to you the Safari Storme. Doesn't matter.
Full light, please. Yes. Shruti, full light, please. Yep. Take your time. Take your time. Okay, we'll begin from the right to the left. Are you? Neeraj, this side, please.
Miss. Right.
Okay, now we move to the center. And now to our right. Are you happy? Okay.
Yeah.
We can do a second round after the presentation and the question answer session.
Let's tell you about the car.
I am now requesting Neeraj to present the salient features of the Tata Safari Storme. Neeraj, please. Come, sit down, please. Stuti. Come, sit down.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you from my side once again. As Mr. Carl Slim has mentioned, that we are trying to harness our resources which we have in the organization in the whole value chain. And from technical point of view, from the product concept point of view, and from the marketing point of view, we come out with a product right in front of you, which is a direct epitome of a real SUV, which we are going to present to you now. To start the presentation, I would like to define that what we feel is a real SUV. The real SUV, as in the customer's mind, should definitely have a shape where he can make a style statement when he's sitting inside the car. Obviously, it should have power inside, under the bonnet. Driving pleasure is considered to be a given fact, that if I'm driving an SUV, I should have a driving pleasure, and luxury and the peace of mind, I don't need to talk about it, it should be there. And that's how customer defines possibly a real SUV. Let's try and evaluate how this vehicle performs well on these characteristics of a real SUV. If I start from the real mean machine, which is the shape of the vehicle, and start from the front side, you will notice that the power bulges with a striking wide grille in the front is a clear differentiator. The fog lamps with the chrome around, the headlamps with the new age polyelliptical headlamps gives a complete stylish front look to the vehicle. We move on to the sides and we see the great wheels onto the side. We have the footboard. We all realize that the vehicle is being driven by all age of people, whether we have the youngsters in the joint family or the old people wanting to climb the vehicle. They all need a comfort, and that's what comes from the footboards. The wide body side cladding, giving it a luxurious feel from outside. And the new pull type, the door handles. Complete elegance on the side as well. We look at the rear side. If you see, the main differentiator which you see into this vehicle is that the spare wheel, the fifth tire, has been removed from the back side and has been put under the vehicle. The other features which you see on this, the aerodynamic spoiler, the new tail lamp cluster, and the stylish twin exhaust gives it a complete sporty and the bullish machine look. And that's what we call it as a true international design for an SUV to be presented to the Indian customers. And that's what is the real mean machine. Let's look at the second aspect of the SUV, which I said, the power. This machine, the engine designed by our Tata Motor engineers, is working on the principle of a Varicore engine, 2.2 liter, which is a variable geometry turbocharged engine with a variable turbine technology, giving it a power of 140 Newton PS and a torque of 320 Newton meter, possibly the best in class, and that too at low RPMs, as low as 1,700 RPM onwards. And what's the effect of this to the customer, which a customer is looking in an SUV? 0 to 100 kilometers in just 15 seconds. And that's what a customer looks in an SUV. Coming to the real driving pleasure, one of the pain areas for the customers most of the time in the big SUVs had been the turning radius. On the roads of Bombay, you want to take a U-turn on the busy road in the Bombay and you have to reverse 2 times. Ladies and gentlemen, our engineers have done a brilliant job with the rack and pinion steering and giving it the smallest turning radius of 5.4 meters only. And to top it up, when you're going off-roads, it's electronic shift on fly on a 4x4 operations, the high ground clearance for 200 millimeter, and above all, to provide the rigidity to the vehicle, to provide the high torsion rigidity to the vehicle, longer life, lighter weight, the technology of the hydroform has been used to build up the chassis of the vehicle. That's what is the power which we are looking at into the vehicle and the durability of the vehicle. Looking at the luxury, which people take it for granted that an SUV
should have the real luxury when they are driving it. The cabin space is a given fact in Tata vehicles, which you all will realize it always comes with the Tata vehicle in any case. But to give more plush looks to the vehicle inside, the in-mold graining technology has been used to give a finesse to the dashboard, which gives a real luxury when you're sitting inside. To give the convenience to the customer on the large vehicles to do the reversing, it's a rear view mirror on the interior. Then we have the long distance drivers. The people are using it not only for off-road, but on a long distances also. You want to feel like the most comfortable person sitting at the back seat. And that's what is the design of the rear seats, which we call as an emperor's throne-like second row for 3 people to sit very comfortably inside the car. That's what we call as a luxury inside when you're sitting. Safety is what is at the top of the mind of the engineers whenever they are building up the vehicle for Tatas. So this vehicle definitely comes with all the safety features, like the 2 airbags for the driver and the co-passenger, the crumple zones, and the side impact beams for the additional safety. All of these things have been tested and certified by the European safety regulations. The ABS and the PS headlamps are the added safety features which are already inside the vehicle. The confidence in building up the car is definitely very huge with our technological center. And that's the reason why we have been able to offer a 3 years, 100,000 kilometers warranty to the buyers of the Tata Safari Storme. And that's the best in class which we are offering to our customers here. Over and above that, a customer has an option to buy an additional warranty for 1 year or 50,000 kilometers. What else do you need? 4-year warranty with 150,000 kilometers of drivability, I think is phenomenal. Fuel efficiency, which is in the top of the mind of the customer at any point of time. For a vehicle like this, the fuel efficiency is as high as 14 kilometers per liter on a 4x2 operations, and just a notch lower at 13.2 in the 4x4 operations. So ladies and gentlemen, let's have the most enjoyable ride in the most difficult terrains. And that's where it is, the thing is. That's not all. This is the product which we are talking about. I've been talking to some of my friends around and asking that, what is the sweet spot where we can sell large number of vehicles? They all give me different opinions about it. But yes, we have created a price benchmark for the customers over here. The vehicle will be launched in the 4 variants, which will be the LX, EX, and VX on the 4x2 operations, and the VX in a 4x4 operations. Obviously, all of these engines are the BS4 compatible engines, and the prices start from less than 10 lakh rupees, which is 9,95,000 rupees onwards for the base model, and goes up to 13.66, 13,66,000 ex-showroom daily prices. In our opinion, very competitive to anybody else in the market, and very, very challenging. And that's what we offer to the market, the whole package of a good product, of a good pricing, and good warranty attached to it. Ladies and gentlemen, product for all of you to look at it, to drive it, and give us a feedback if there is anything which we can do in further. Thank you very much.
Neeraj, thank you. We will now take questions. May I invite Mr. Slim, Mr. Yadav, and Dr. Leverton to join Neeraj to take questions.
It's a luxurious too.
So, can I have the first question? I'll request you to just kneel down so that you can see everyone's faces clearly. Can I have the first question, please? Someone will have to break that. Mr. Baig, please. Thank you, sir. Mr. Baig, please take a handset. It's just behind you.
The last time I drove a Safari, it was a little sluggish. That was about 6 years ago. It was, I think, 10% heavier than this model from what I can gather. And although it had the same 140 horsepower, peak horsepower, I suspect there have been other changes which might improve the torque delivery and so on. Could you, am I right in saying that there's been a weight reduction of about 10%? And could you tell us a little bit what you've done to make the engine more lively and responsive?
Is that
so, Tim? Why don't you talk about this a bit?
Dr. Leviton's collar mic working?
Yes, I think it's working. Yeah. So I think first of all, in terms of the weight, depending on the version, we've reduced the weight by about 75 kilos. It's a little bit lighter, and that really is through the hydroform technology of the frame, and it's a lighter, stiffer frame, which gives many advantages in terms of attributes of dynamics, handling, and ride. With respect to the engine, yes, on the face of it, the numbers, the peak numbers look similar. But using the variable geometry turbocharger, this variable turbine technology, first appeared on the Aria, we have learned a huge amount out of that, and we focus very much on the drivability and generation of torque, particularly at the low engine speed. And this variable geometry technology allows us to control the air-fuel ratio very precisely, and it's that which gives a peppier performance and an improved drivability, more torque in the areas where you want it comfortably. And it's also why we've got improved acceleration, for example, around 2 seconds knocked off the 0 to 100 time. So this you can drive in a relaxed fashion, and it's very easy to drive in both on the highway and in city conditions.
I want to know why it's been 6 years since you've driven a Safari, though.
Yeah.
Why has it been 6 years gap since you drove a Safari? I mean, you need to be driving one more often, obviously. The old one.
Yeah. This will be much better, Murad, I can promise you.
Yeah, well, you've heard the technical answer, but which is driven what you've heard the technical answer, but you can drive the two together. Obviously, the other one has still got what it's required for the kind of usage we expect for that, but this has taken it into the luxury end, where, as Tim said, you're going to enjoy the ride from the inside, a vehicle kind of ride in an SUV with additional acceleration. So please let us help you get in 6 years after the first one.
Yes, sir. The next question.
Okay, then let's answer it this way. This is continuation of a legacy and an upgrade. So certainly the Safari customer is same. It's a true blue Safari customer user, somebody who's looking for real off-roading capability in his vehicle. But we are not restricting it to that, and I think Neeraj covered that. That, whether you go for a long ride, whether you have a driver, there's luxury built in behind, in front. But this is a real mean machine. That's what we are positioning it at. And the gentleman who bought it 2 months back or 3 months back, we're happy to sell him another one. Yeah.
My question is to Carl Slim. Now, there have been certain issues with the Tata Motors portfolio. For example, at one end you've got the Nano, which, again, there were some issues with it. And then at the other end you've got the Aria, which is positioned as a crossover but wasn't received that well. So with Safari, now Safari's always enjoyed a cult status. So are you expecting the Safari Storm to be a game changer in the market?
Is this on? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a game changer as far as the position in which it's playing. We don't expect this to change the whole portfolio of our vehicles, but this is, yesterday we had the first change in what we're doing, bringing something new to the market, and then this is the same. This is really, there isn't anything like this in the market, where we've got the DNA, as you've said, of the Safari, which is a cult following and a cult brand. And now we've brought international level quality, international level looks, international level luxury into that cult following as well. So you've still got all the great things that the Safari had before, but now this has taken that international level. So I think this is a game changer in the place it's playing in. and you'll see a lot more in other places to be able to give that same feel to our portfolio.
Now, in India, I think mostly in BRIC countries, you see there is a shift happening towards the SUVs. So everybody is like going the US way, big cars. What is your opinion on having probably an SUV at every price point, say something at 5 lakhs, something at 7 lakhs, and then something even higher?
Well, if we read what's happening in the market, that's exactly what is happening, isn't it? That we've got the real SUVN, which is where what you get when you get the Safari, and then you've got the more look-alike SUV, which is not really for off-road or doing those kind of activities, but still is a growing market in India. So you're right, the segment overall of SUV is desegmentized into various areas, and each one of those is growing at a rapid rate. So it makes sense to play in different areas of there, and it makes sense to play where the customers are showing interest, which in India at the moment is in the full range of SUVs.
Thank you.
Jairaj here, right in front.
Yes, sir.
Talking about an SUV, actually 4x4 SUV, what sort of a test did you have for Storme under the real condition?
Testing under real conditions.
Because earlier, if I recollect, it really used to fall apart after a few months of use in the real conditions where one actually needs 4x4.
No, we have, on this Safari Storme over the last 18 months, we have conducted hundreds of thousands of kilometres of testing over all aspects of the duty cycle. It's building on the strength and quality of the Aria platform. It's the frame technology, hydroframe technology, hydroform technology in the frame is a much stronger and more rugged construction, and that reflects then in the durability of the vehicle. So we've done probably more comprehensive testing on this vehicle than any other SUV that we've launched.
Did you try this vehicle on the sand dunes also?
And really, we'd like you to go for a test ride and check it out, and you can see what the vehicle can do.
In fact, we have a drive experience after this question and answer session, which will take you through exercises that this car can do, and I would very much request you to take part in that. It will actually be a visible proof to you of what this car can do.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Carl,
yeah, Ranajai.
Yeah, Carl, here. Just to add to a question that was thrown at you a while back, you've said that you're looking forward to the festive season. There would be newer models from your portfolio coming out, a few refreshments. But what are you essentially doing to revitalize your existing portfolio? Whether it's the Nano, whether it's the Aria as she mentioned, how are you looking to increase sales? If you could just throw some light on that, and I'll give you my other questions.
You give me the other questions. Oh, great.
If you satisfactorily answer this one.
Well, the pressure's on now, isn't it? I've talked about the 3 cars that we've most recently addressed, and when we talk about refreshing the portfolio, there are different things that we need to do. Some things are refreshments that are facelifts and upgrades, etc., that we saw with the EV2 most recently. Some of them are more major, which you would have seen on today with the Safari, and so probably medium with the Manzi yesterday. And then, of course, there are more longer-term things that we need to do on refreshing the portfolio with our new products and some pruning likely in the current product styling as well. Now, obviously, the portfolio pipeline is not empty. It's just because I've arrived, it doesn't mean that there's some empty pipeline there. The team here have got a great job of having a pipeline of refreshments and new products in place anyway. So I really see our job is being able to make sure that we pull all the things together, because you've mentioned a few products which have not done as well as we'd like, yet they're great products. So it's very important for us to be able to get the picture absolutely right from all the angles of the delivery, where we're looking for, the go-to-market strategy, the pricing, exactly everything into one complete package, which is where we know the customer is looking for. And I think we've had some great products that you mentioned, Aria, Nano, Manza, etc., that have not necessarily had all the boxes ticked to be able to make it okay in the market, even though the product has got everything there. So that's what you'll see from us, being a little bit more laser-like on ensuring we can get our product exactly to where the customer's looking for.
Lately, a lot has been talked about as far as the rivalry between Mahindra and Tata Motors is concerned, when you compare the overall sales of the two manufacturers. Now, of course, you've sort of regained the number 3 position. With this launch, since you will be taking on some of Mahindra's flagship brands, do you hope to fortify your position as the number 3 passenger car maker in India? And then what? Will you also look at sort of scaling up volumes from there on?
Yeah, it's not all one product, but of course one product is the stepping stones. We did that yesterday with a product which is really now standalone as far as its luxury in one area of our portfolio, and I think we've done it today in the fact that there is nothing with this kind of styling, with this kind of performance in the area where that's going. It's now, of course, for us to keep going on the products and be able to do the same in all the areas. Every product that comes to market should be a winner as to where it's placed. As far as aspirations of numbers in the pecking order, then we see ourselves as very easily a strong number 2 player, and there's no question in my mind that that's my vision of where we should be in the medium term, and beyond that there's no reason why we can't challenge number 1. You heard me say at the beginning the capabilities that are in the company, and it's harnessing those capabilities into each and every product that is going to bring us that. So that's my expectation.
Let the lady take the question first, and then we'll come to you, Rudra. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I?
No,
okay.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I am Zara from Z Business. My question is about, in September, JLR saw a fall in its sales ever since, I think, 2011, in July 2011. I hope I got my fact right. How do you think has it affected Tata Motors, if at all?
I mean, everybody's focused on 1 month, which didn't happen to be greater than the previous month, the previous year's same month.
Yes.
And I think all of us in this room know that we live in a very cyclical business, which is we're in a month prior to festival. It's been a downturn as far as the old industry is concerned, and most manufacturers, 95% of manufacturers also saw a not so strong September. The overall, if you look at retails of JLR, were much greater than the wholesales, which gets reported in there, which is great news. So we're not worried at all. The growth of JLR has been great. The growth of Tata Motors, even in the last quarter, was also exactly what we'd like to see. So let's not worry about the months of ups and downs. The overall path is exactly where we'd like it to be.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Yes, Rudra.
Hi, Carl. Welcome back to India after your short Chinese stint. This is a very important product for Tata Motors, given that UVs was a major segment for the company for very long, and there have not been any major launches for a really long time. Even this, I believe, has been delayed a bit. What kind of volumes are you really looking at, given that SUVs are doing really well in India? And a strategy, something that Tata Motors has been doing with most of your models, Indica and Indigo, you always keep the last generation model there in the market while the new model is launched. So is that going to be followed with this? Will that give you additional volumes? Will the Safari, the older Safari, be priced at a lower and then, the pie will get only bigger? Is that a thing you're going to follow? Another thing, top-end pricing is very close to the Aria. So do you think there will be some kind of an impact?
If I take that question. Right. See, we are working on the customer expectation from a product which we are trying to deliver to him. We have identified that in the products which we had earlier and the product which we are offering now, there was a slight expectation more from the product from the Safari Storm coming into the market. So in my opinion, we'll be able to appeal this product to a larger customer base than we were appealing in the earlier times. As Murad just now mentioned that he drove it 6 years back and he hasn't got a chance to drive it. Now I'm sure he's excited to drive this vehicle now with the looks and the whole package which we are putting inside the vehicle. It's not only the looks, the power, the performance, the luxury and everything. So in my opinion, this product should start appealing to different categories of customer, giving us a potential battlefield to conquer more into the market. Does that answer your question well?
Yeah, and the older Safari, does that stay in your portfolio, and will it expand that?
Yes, as I mentioned to you that we are attracting the newer customers with this particular product, and we have the die-hard loyalist for the older product also. So we would not like them to be stranded and not being able to get this product. So there's a parallel that the older product continues and we have this additional product.
In that case, will the pricing be repositioned for the older model?
Slightly, we'll have to see that how do we adjust those, but I think it's more of a market-driven dynamics which we'll have to see it over a period of time and then decide that which products stay into the portfolio.
Right, and volumes, sales volumes target, you will not?
I will not be able to comment on that, but I'm very bullish that it should give us a definite boost into the volumes.
Thank you.
Yes. Hi, Carl. This is Laishamba from PTI. You spoke about your desire to eventually challenge the number one car maker in India, that's Maruti, which has got a huge amount of, like small cars. Correct me if dates are mistaken, but Tata Motors, 1998, the Indica was launched, and 10 years down the line, the Nano was launched. So is it going to take another 10 years for Tata Motors to add another small car to its portfolio?
You've got my secret sheet here. Do you want this one? This is the plans for the future. It's important. We're a volume manufacturer. I mentioned that we have 6 plants, and therefore our base is making sure that we develop and produce and sell our vehicles in volume areas. We all know that in India 70% of the sales are in the small segment because of the various advantages of cars in that segment from a price point, and also for just the ease of infrastructure of a small car. So I think it's going to stay that way for a long while. When the first small car was launched, there was a small car segment and one segment, and now really you've seen in that one small car segment there's actually multiple entries. I think we've said the same on SUV. There used to be, when we launched this, it was one small SUV segment, and now there's multiple segments in that. So I think it's important that, yes, we're volume, so we're going to go to volume segments, which you would see in SUV, MUV, which you would see in the Manza area, which is where we were yesterday, and which you'd definitely see in the small car. And I don't see small car as being a small car. I see that segmentation now as being quite strategic for you to play in the various places.
Yes, you had a... That got answered? We can take one last question if there's any.
Or if not, you can have tea.
Yes.
Yes. So there doesn't seem to be any other last question. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We have, as I said, a drive experience for you. And my colleague, Mr. Arthur Sarao, will guide you about the procedure and how to reach the venue for the drive experience. And also please join us for a cup of tea. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today.